What a season! What a season!
Spring 2016 has become one of the best anime seasons in a long time.
There's a lot of returning anime, but a lot of new interesting shows premiered as well.
It has honestly given us the hardest time to decide the rankings.
There's no possible way anyone's going to agree with our list.
We had to make many sacrifices, and we even extended the list to incorporate as many titles as we could.
But even then, some titles just couldn't cut it.
As always, we judge the anime by their first episodes, sometimes even by their second episodes.
So join me, Firemac and
Eneps,
as we count down our top 15 best anime of spring 2016. Sosei no Onyoji, otherwise known as Twinstar Exorcists.
Mukuro is from a family of exorcists who remove the evil Kagari, but his real dream is to be a singer, a soccer player, or anything other than an exorcist. When another exorcist named Benio arrives, Mukuro is suddenly inflamed with competitive spirit and decides to put his natural knack to good use. Their rivalry gets more complicated when they both learn they are the destined twin-star exorcists, two ultimate fighters fated to marry and create the prophesied child who will eliminate all the Kagari in the world.
What we were sure was going to be another generic anime actually surprised us with its style, characters, and action. There is clearly an incident that has affected the main character, and we're sure they'll delve into it sooner or later in the series. As the title suggests, we can expect them to really focus on the relationship of the two main characters and how it blossoms. Twinstar Exorcist seems like a lot of fun for an action anime.
Magi, Sinbad no Bouken, otherwise known as Magi, Adventure of Sinbad. 30 years before the events of Magi, a brave and handsome young man named Sinbad set sail and started his adventure. The future High King of Seven Seas gradually matured through various encounters and farewells, taking him towards kingship step by step.
Hey ho, gotta go Magi, gotta go Sinbad. The odd nature of this anime required us to kind of watch it out of order. There was an OVA of the same name with 5 episodes, but it turns out they are planning to just use the episodes of the OVA as episodes of the TV version for episode 2 through 6. And since we couldn't obtain a watchable version of the first episode of the TV show, we decided to check out the OVA instead. So we're technically judging this anime off its second episode. With that said, there seems to be a lot of promise with this title. It looks to be a highly entertaining experience.
You can expect the same Magi experience you come to know and love.
Kudo Mukuro. During the construction of the Kurobi Dam, an ancient artifact was discovered, and so the United Nations Kurobi Research Institute was established. Intellectuals from all over the world gathered to study the object, and the children of those researchers attend Mount Tate International Senior High School, including the institute head's daughter, Yukina Shirahane. In the summer of 2016, a lone samurai once again awakens.
What starts off looking like another slice-of-life school anime becomes a wild sci-fi mecha anime with a dash of feudal Japan. The action is fresh and the characters are intriguing. We're not sure where the plot is going to take us, but we can expect it to be a wild ride as we watch a samurai adjust to a time that is foreign to him.
He's basically the samurai version of Captain America.
I prefer Spider-Man, so Team Iron Man all the way.
You bitch.
Motherfucker! Oh, fuck you! Team Iron!
I'm sorry to say, Eneps will no longer be part of this video. We are going to continue on as like nothing happened. Go Team Cap. ReZero Kara Hajimaru Isekai Seikatsu, otherwise known as ReZero, starting life in another world. Subaru Natsuki is an ordinary high school student who is lost in an alternate world where he is rescued by a beautiful, silver-haired girl. He stays near her to return the favor, but the destiny she is burdened with is more than Subaru can imagine. Enemies attack one by one, and both of them are killed. He then finds out he has the power to rewind death back to the time he first came to this world, but only he remembers what has happened since. The first episode of this anime was split into 2, and because of this, we couldn't help but to feel some serious pacing issues with the anime. The first half of the episode was a very tame and generic romp into another anime about a guy torn from his everyday life and tossed to a medieval world. But the second half of the episode finally kicks it into proper gear and shows us what this anime is really about. The main character seems a little too oblivious to honestly relate. It takes him a good while to realize he's actually going back in time. If he continues this line of deduction in the future, I can't help but to think I'll get very frustrated with him. With that said, everything about this anime excels. When it wants to get dark, it gets dark fast. The sudden tone shifts will catch those unprepared off guard. This anime has the potential to become amazing. We just hope it doesn't lose traction after initial twist. split into two, and because of this, we couldn't help but to feel some serious pacing issues with the anime.
By the end of the second half of the first episode, it gave me chills down my spine.
Make sure to keep this anime on your radars. Wait, what the?
Bungo Stray Dogs. After a young man, Ashishi Nakajima, saves a man from his wish of suicide, he and his friends join the Arms Detective Company, a league of literary figures that also harness special powers.
Bungo Stray Dogs has the makings of a great and memorable title. So why is it so low on the list? Well, for a number of factors. There's just too many other anime this season that just simply outshine this one. And at the same time, this anime didn't leave us with as much of a lasting impression as other titles. The characters are great, the humor is wonderful, but the twist they wanted to have in the first episode was a pretty easy one to see coming. We hope future episodes really sell this series because, like we said, this truly does have the makings of an awesome anime. Terra for Mars, Revenge.
2620 AD, in order to find a vaccine for the virus from Mars with a death rate of 100% called the Alien Engine virus, Hizumaru and the crew went to Mars to get a sample of one of the giant cockroach creatures, otherwise known as Terra for Mars. An unforeseen accident happens, and while Akari and the others fight the roaches to try to escape, humanity is fighting with each other behind closed doors.
We hop into this season of Terra for Mars without having watched the first one. The censoring we heard of honestly turned us off from watching it, but having checked out the first episode of the second season, we might reconsider that thought. Despite not truly understanding all the details of the current situation in anime, we found ourselves relating with the characters and rooting for their survival. It was executed that well. We can't wait to go back and rewatch the first season so we can enjoy this season all the more.
Get off our planet or die. Or die. I don't care either way.
Aw, snap, someone get the can of raid spray!
Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 4. Diamond is Unbreakable.
Oh my god!
It's the year 1999, 11 years after Jotaro Kujo's desperate fight against Dio in Egypt. Jotaro meets with Josuke Higashikata, the illegitimate son of his grandfather Joseph Joestar.
Oh my god!
He discovers that Josuke also has the same stand power and that a new threat is surfacing in Morio City.
We have an interesting dynamic on the viewing of this anime. Eneps has been watching and reading the manga of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so he knows what to expect and is sold on this season from the get-go. But I, Firemac, have never once watched the series. I've always been intrigued by it and have meant to watch the series from the very beginning, but never got around to it. So this was my first real venture into the world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I was a little lost on some details, but I was able to understand some of the basics of the world. Besides that, the characters look very unique and I can dig it. The series looks to live up to its legacy and I can't wait to hop on board the JoJo hype train.
No!
Come on, loser, we're going posing.
Oh my god!
Big O! It's showtime! Wait. I meant big order. Big order, yeah, big order!
Eiji Hoshimiya is an introverted high school student with a huge secret. He wished for the destruction of the world when he was younger. Fairies give certain people special powers called orders. What orders users can do with their powers depend on their wishes. 10 years after the Great Destruction, Eiji struggles to come to terms with his immense power.
It's another case of Eneps knowing more about this title than I do. But aside from that, we were both pleasantly satisfied with what we watched.
It's been very faithful to the manga so far, and I cannot wait for it to get to the good shit.
There are some pretty interesting things going on in this anime that honestly remind us of Code Geass. These orders are things that people wish for and end up becoming their special little power, much like how in Code Geass each character had a Geass that had a similar effect. With that dynamic going on, we get some very interesting twists in the story. Big Order looks to live up to its predecessor, Future Diaries Legacy.
You have no idea how pleased I am to see that Eiji does not look like anything like Yuki from Future Diary. Ugh.
Man, that would have been awkward if he did. Myoiga, also known as The Lost Village.
30 young men and women come together on a shady bus tour. The tour's destination, an elusive, possibly non-existent village called Nanakimura. In Nanakimura, one can lead a utopian existence, free of the world's obstacles, or so it was rumored, like an urban legend.
Myoiga gives off an incredible eerie feeling. Everything feels very off, but not in a bad way. The first episode is filled with over 5 minutes of approximately 30 character introductions. It's a lot to take in for the introduction to a series, but as you listen to each character's introduction, you can tell something isn't right. There's this feeling of dread, but you're not sure why. Maybe it's because each character seems not quite right in the head. They all want to escape life and start over in a supposedly untraceable village, hence the title of the series, The Lost Village. Within the first 2 episodes of the series, you can expect it to go full tilt onto murder or horror, but yet neither occurs. There does seem to be at least one main character amongst the group of the misfits and outcasts, but even he seems to be hiding something dark about him. There's so much intrigue in what could potentially happen that it may be more of a mystery of what's going to happen versus find out what is happening. It's honestly a very unique anime. We wish we could rate this higher, but after 2 episodes, we still haven't seen how dark or twisted this could potentially get. We highly recommend you check this title out. It's going to be an anime to remember. Boku no Hero Academia, also known as My Hero Academia. Mankind has developed superpowers known as quirks, with 80% of the population having some kind of superpower. These new abilities see the rise of both superheroes and villains. A prestigious school known as the Hero Academy trains superpowered hopefuls into the heroes the world needs. Middle school student Izuku Midoriya wants to be a hero more than anything, but he's part of the 20% without a quirk. Unwilling to give up his dream, he plans to take the exam and be accepted into a high school for budding heroes. Through a series of serendipitous events, he catches the eye of the greatest hero, All Might, who agrees to train him.
Here comes the next big shonen anime. Maybe. We can't exactly shout that from the rooftops quite yet, but from what we saw in the first 2 episodes, My Hero Academia is going to be amazing.
I was honestly waiting the entire time for Midoriya to just suddenly have his quirk show up in the introductory episodes. I mean, it's such a predictable thing to happen, but yet it never did happen. We watch Midoriya suffer and struggle to be a hero, and yet somehow still manages to be one. I won't spoil how, but it was honestly very refreshing. I even ended up crying because how much I related to Midoriya.
If the opening is anything to go off of, we can expect My Hero Academia to get as crazy as any of the great shonen anime of the past. My Hero Academia may just be the next shonen anime that you can't stop hearing about.
Macross Delta. Macross Delta is set in the year 2067, 8 years after the events of the latest Macross TV series, Macross Frontier. The story focuses on Walkure, a team of talented idols, and the Delta Squadron, a team of experienced Valkyrie pilots, as they battle against the Var Syndrome, a mysterious phenomenon that is consuming the galaxy, and there's also the mysterious Aerial Knights Valkyrie fighter team of the Kingdom of Wind.
Idols OP as fuck. Please nerf. Please, they're like magical girls!
This is Macross alright. The singing that has been so much paired with the series comes in with full force in this incarnation of the great mecha series. You'll honestly be wondering if you're watching an idol anime versus a mecha anime at times, but that's not a bad thing. The contrast of the mecha and the vibrant pop vibes of the music give Macross Delta an amazingly unique, fresh feel.
While we can't speak for everyone, we found the music to be honestly very catchy and addicting. We look forward to the singing because it just got us that much more into the action scenes. Both of the main characters were instantly likable. Also, you may not have noticed it, but there's CG in this anime as well. But it's so well executed that it just feels like another natural part of the anime. Everything about Macross Delta just screams amazing.
This is honestly probably my new favorite Macross anime. Concrete Revolution! The last song!
Titans from outer space, life forms from a mystical world, phantoms and goblins from ancient times, cyborgs created by scientists, relics that rose out of the ruins of ancient civilizations. In another Japan, it's not just a question of what if, it's a reality. Some of the superhumans choose to keep their identities a secret, while others bask in their superhuman fame. Jiro Hitoyoshi, member of the Superhuman Bureau, keeps track of their doings.
You may recall this anime from our top 15 anime of fall 2015. We rated it highly for its style of mixing new and old anime, and its intriguing storytelling by hopping around in time. So you know we had to watch the first season before hopping into the second season. The first season was a huge delight, but it left us with a lot of unanswered questions. And that's because we were going to get the last song this season. They look to answer a lot of questions that we had from the first season, but only one thing matters. Is it still good? Yes! Everything you love from the first season is present in the second season, including the time hopping and the storytelling. The first season didn't let us down, so you can bet your butts that this season will be just as great, if not better. Kisna.
The fictional Japanese city named Sugimori City is built on reclaimed land, but as the years go by, the city's population is decreasing. One day, Sonosaki tells her classmate Katsuhira, "You have been selected to be
Kisna."
The Kisna system, which allows Katsuhira to share his wounds, connects him to the classmates whose lives and personalities completely differ from his. The Kisna system is an incomplete system for the implementation of a world peace that connects people through wounds. All those who are connected to the system are called
Kisnaivas.
When one Kisniver is wounded, the system divides and transmits the wound among the other Kisnivers.
Kisnaiva is the next big anime out of Studio Trigger, the people behind Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. Kisnaiva introduces us to a unique concept of multiple characters who are seemingly unrelated to each other, who are suddenly tied to one another via the sensation of pain. If one person feels it, they all do. We recommend that you at least watch until the second episode. The first episode has more exposition than you may be willing to stand, but the second episode truly shines with all the character interactions. We won't spoil what happens, but it shows the promise and quality of a Studio Trigger anime.
I've been waiting for this pain. Hurt me more.
Joker Game. In 1937, before World War II begins in earnest, Lieutenant Colonel Yuki of the Imperial Japanese Army forms the D Agency,
That dude, baby.
an army intelligence outfit under his command and tutelage. Army General Staff attaches Lieutenant Sakuma to observe the unit's performance. D Agency casts a wide net to find agents beyond Japanese military personnel, and Yuki establishes D Agency's tenets, which go against IGA doctrine: don't kill, don't get killed, don't get captured. With this, Yuki trains a team of operatives who conduct missions against domestic and foreign powers.
We had such a hard time deciding our top 2 anime. We went back and forth between this anime and the one we ended up choosing for number 1. They are both just so good for such different reasons. Joker Game demands you to pay attention to every detail. Every shot, every piece of dialogue is carefully chosen here. The first episode spends a good long time explaining the mechanics of the Joker Game. And of course, this just means that it's going to happen in the episode itself. We won't spoil how this occurs, but the reveal is such a stimulating experience for the mind that you will want to examine everything carefully. And this carries on to the second episode where it delves into the Joker Game even further. There are many layers of deception here that you'll constantly be second guessing who's on whose side. A must watch for any self-respecting anime fan. Before we get to number 1, let's go over some honorable mentions.
Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn Re 0096.
A TV edit of the highly successful Gundam OVA. If this wasn't already completed and existed in a more completed form, this title would have easily been a part of the top 10. Haven't you heard? I'm Sakamoto.
The title says it all. Everything Sakamoto does needs to be marveled at.
Oh yes.
Sailor Moon Crystal Season 3.
Sailor Moon Crystal returns with probably the best story arc that introduces the rest of the main Sailor Scouts.
In the name of the moon, we'll punish you. You totally can't see it, but we're doing the pose. High School Fleet.
A lighthearted anime set in a world dominated by the ocean. And despite all this, there's actually something serious going on behind all the cute smiles. Bakuan!
An amazingly cute and hilarious anime about motorcycles. It's a shame we couldn't include this in the top 15. Tanaka-kun is always listless.
In stark contrast to Sakamoto, we get Tanaka-kun, who wants nothing but to relax.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
It stays true to the game's story, and it may very well be the best video game adapted anime in a good long time.
Kuma Miko, Girl Meets Bear.
An entertaining title that delves into the relationship of a young shrine maiden and the bear who can talk.
Kagewane, second season.
This returning short-form anime proves to be a wildly entertaining title. Like horror and mystery, this should be your jam. Flying Witch!
A realistic anime that takes a nonchalant approach to having witches roam around in normal society.
And that concludes the rest of the honorable mentions. Now let's find out which anime has made the top of the list. Oh boy! Kotetsuyo no Kabaneri, also known as Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
On the island country Hinamoto, humans hide themselves in fortresses called stations, against the threat of zombie-like beings with still hearts known as kabane. Only armored locomotives known as Hayajiro go between the stations. Let's just start off with explaining that this anime has help from people who helped create Attack on Titan and Code Geass, so you know you are in for a real treat with this anime.
Like we mentioned in number 2, it was so difficult to decide which anime would be number 1. There was honestly a last-second decision to make Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress the best anime of spring 2016.
This anime has no chill. It starts off strong and keeps the pace going.
In a simplified explanation, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is pretty much Attack on Titan, but with zombies. They aren't referred to as zombies, but we're clearly looking at zombies. They're just insanely more aggressive, and if you're bitten by one, you better cut off the infected limb without a second thought. Otherwise, you're almost instantaneously converted. These things are no joke.
Also, our main character is willing to sacrifice just about anything to stay alive. He's honestly hardcore. Everything about this anime just screams quality. We haven't quite found anything to complain about yet.
We don't mean to make this such a blatant hyperbole, but it was honestly just that good. This is a definite must-watch of the season.
Make sure to tell all your friends about Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Go on, do it. Do it, man.
Do it now! Get on Twitter, check this anime out.
It's that good, guys. Man, go on Facebook, tell your friends about it. The guys, I know the new anime of the best for the season of Spring 2016. It's like legit shit. Even Firemac and Eneps told me, man. You gotta believe them.
Who's Firemac and Eneps?
I'll tell you all about it, man. You just gotta go to this website. Bam. There you go. That's how you spread the word of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah. Do it.
There you have it. Another season and another countdown out of the way.
This has truly been a crazy season. What do you guys think?
We're pretty certain you have your own opinions and your own top ones, so please share.
What do you think should have been number 1?
Which titles deserve to make the list?
Were there any titles we just grossly overlooked? Let us know in the comments below.
See you guys next season where 2016 will show us what it has to offer. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and share the video with your friends. This is Firemac and
Eneps
saying bye-bye. See you next time.
There will be no summer 2016. Anime has been outlawed.
Attack on Titan comes back in summer 2016, has taken over, and there is no other anime. It has eaten and devoured them all.
There is no Naruto. There is no One Piece.
There is no Bleach.
There is no hope.
There is nothing.
Only Titans.
Hey everyone, Firemac here. Just apologizing for the huge delay between my last video and this video. It has proven to be quite difficult to make these kind of videos consistently, so in the future, we're probably going to dial it back and try to keep things to like a top 5. Let us know what you think about that, and make sure to please follow me on Facebook and Twitter if you want to be up to date on any updates from me. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.